They told you that Erika Kirk was continuing Charlie Kirk's legacy, and the truth is she's not. Right when Charlie started questioning a specific nation, they took him out. Almost like they just wiped it away, because he was getting too close to the truth. Erika Kirk, the grieving widow who never once smudged her dark eyeshadow, now says the show will go on, and she forgives him. She forgives the man who we know isn't even probably the guy. And guess what? Her father worked for Raytheon's Israeli division. This isn't Charlie's legacy. And here's what we're not supposed to talk about. There is no coroner's report, no church funeral, no burial site, no official autopsy.
All that's left now is a haunting hush and a pile of questions no one dares touch. Buckle up, because this tea isn't just hot, it's boiling over. It's been more than a month since the whole Charlie Kirk fiasco detonated, and the smoke still hasn't cleared. The accused, Tyler Robinson, is still facing trial, and many are whispering that it's one of the most secretive cases in U.S. history. The courthouse. Total lockdown. No cameras, no phones, not even a rumor sneaks out. Reporters say it feels straight out of a thriller. Cold, tense, and dripping with mystery. But here's the twist. Even a tight gag order couldn't muzzle Candace Owens. She's back, louder than ever, and this time, silence isn't on her agenda.
The point that I'm making here is that I had assumed, clearly wrongly, that we'd all maybe be on a group chat communicating, raising hell and demanding answers from the feds, from the police, from the White House even. Certainly, at the very least, pointing out the very many holes in this story. And if any one of us had the audacity or the desire to carry on Charlie Kirk's show, that would be the appropriate venue for asking those sorts of questions. But no, I was wrong. Silence. Silence is what we were met with. In fact, I am told that these people believe the official narrative.
Candace Owens has shattered the silence once more, and this time she's spilling details that hit way too close to home. She's claiming that Erika Kirk, Charlie's widow, wasn't just a grieving wife, but a major player in his personal and professional life at Turning Point America, and that's when the internet went up in flames. Candace isn't just hinting. She's sketching a picture that makes everyone stop and think, because according to her, Erika's reach didn't end with Charlie's public image. It stretched deep into the shadows, shaping what really happened behind closed doors.
If the Charlie Kirk saga couldn't get any more bizarre, the trial of Tyler Robinson is starting off on a very interesting path. Judge Tony Graff, who's just been on the bench for 56 days, you would think that they would get someone with a little bit more experience, has imposed one of the strictest gag orders I've ever heard of, prohibiting anyone connected to the case from speaking to the media, citing concerns about pre-trial publicity and fairness. Now, the media, gag order. Lawyers, gag order. Law enforcement, gag order. The 3,000 people that were there, gag order. Candace Owens, gag order. She wasn't even there. And speaking of Candace Owens, she says she's got some information that she uncovered in the last week, which shows that Kirk was betrayed by everybody. Turning Point USA, gag order. I don't know what everybody, gag order. The judge said regardless of who is watching, whether it's the nation or a single individual, we must fulfill our roles with integrity, civility, and diligence. Well, integrity and diligence, integrity of the crime scene would have been a good start. Maybe roping it off and not just cementing over it right after the guy, autopsy maybe, ballistics or something. Gag order. It's going to be interesting. Story developing.
And just like that, the no-speech order was slapped down again. No one can talk, no one can share, total lockdown. But the silence only makes things juicier. People are whispering. Is Erika Kirk's sudden rise just perfect timing? Or is there a deeper game being played here? The internet has split into two camps. One side hailing Erika as a strong woman holding things together. The other convinced she's hiding something behind that calm, polished smile. But before anyone could catch their breath, Candace Owens dropped another bombshell. And this time, it's shaking the internet. Candace claims that as CEO of Turning Point, Erika may have known what was coming. Oh, and she didn't stop there. She's pulled Erika's mother into the storm too, saying she wasn't just standing by. She might have been pulling strings behind the curtain. What started as a family tragedy is now looking like a full-blown political thriller. Candace, relentless as ever, vows she won't stop digging until the truth surfaces. She insists the story we're being told doesn't line up with what really happened. And with every revelation, The image of Turning Point and Erika Kirk grows darker, murkier, and far more unpredictable than anyone ever imagined.
I told you that I had a source who was actually on the ground the day that Charlie was shot, somebody who was in law enforcement. I remember my source telling me something about how they were trying to keep everybody very tight-lipped. And so I went back through our messages and I found this. So on September 27th, my source said, "I can't talk about it yet. Admin is on high alert about leaks. Blank advised anyone leaking information about this case would receive heavy reprimand." And I said, "I'm convinced this was a hit, dude. This Tyler Patsy thing stinks to high heaven." So everyone is being very tight-lipped. Oh, for sure, bro. Once I got on scene, I could tell something was very wrong. And I was thinking about our conversation. I was thinking about a couple of other things he was talking about. And I remembered that one of the things he was also talking about was the fact that he verified with UVU officers at UVU campus, that Charlie's team wouldn't coordinate with them regarding security, which I thought was really weird. Now, I don't know the exact protocol with this. I don't know if this is a normal thing. Is it not weird that the guest security wouldn't coordinate with the officers on campus?
Candace isn't holding back anymore. She claims certain sources have been intentionally spreading lies, twisting facts about what really happened and who was actually involved. But the real shocker? When she subtly hinted that the person currently in custody might not be telling the whole truth. Just one quiet remark, yet it sent the internet spiraling. Suddenly, every old theory, every forgotten clue is being dragged back into the spotlight for a second look.
I know how Erika and Charlie met. Do you want to know how they met? Okay, let's find out.
So if you ask him, this is the typical husband-wife. Like, the husband has a very Spark Notes version, condensed, and then the woman has the longer, more meandering version. So I'll try to blend the two. But the interesting point is that year, that was in August. In May, I had taken a pilgrimage with my mom to Israel. And my whole intention of that trip was to find my future husband. If there was a hole in a rock anywhere to put a prayer, and those of you who've been to Israel, you know, the Wailing Wall, all the different places you can stick a prayer on a little piece of paper, that was me. Like, had a piece of paper everywhere. And so I usually don't tell this part because it's very intimate, but I feel like I should. Bloom where you're planted, right? There's only a few flights out at the night in Israel back to the States. And so I was standing there at the ticket line, and there was a guy who was checking out.
Social media has officially gone nuclear. Forums, podcasts, and YouTube channels are flooded with theories, each trying to decode what Candace Owens just dropped. She's claiming to have screenshots, voice notes, and receipts to back up her bombshells. And the internet can't look away, because if even half of what she's saying checks out, this scandal could shake Turning Point to its core and drag some of the biggest power players into the fire. But here's where the story really flips. Tyler Robinson, the man accused in the Charlie Kirk case, wasn't caught through some high-level FBI sting. Nope. Sources say it was his own family who turned him in after spotting his face on national TV. Imagine that, your name, plastered across every news site within hours. Soon after, the FBI made it official. Tyler Robinson was in custody. And that's when the so-called most secret trial in U.S. history began. The courthouse? Sealed tighter than Fort Knox, no cameras. No leaks, no whispers. Reporters say stepping inside felt like entering another world. One with no access, no transparency, and definitely no freedom of speech.
Candace even involved in Charlie Kirk's life at all.
No question, proof that Candace Owens has nothing to do. She would be in a perfect world if they didn't have this. What I already know was a very quiet breakup where she got too rabbit hole for him. She would be the logical heir to TPUSA throne, but she's
and
not.
now she's not even invited.
Correct. So this is so their divide is.
Wait a minute, not invited meaning
she's not even there.
Yeah, she's not there. One of the names.
Wait, you don't think she'll be at the funeral?
No.
That's not the funeral.
The heir to
okay.
TPUSA throne.
She doesn't speak at the events anymore.
And here's the wildest twist. Candace isn't the only one being muzzled. A wave of independent creators who dared to cover the same case have now been slapped with matching restraining orders. Suddenly, the internet's echoing with one burning question. What are they trying to hide? Why are all these voices being silenced at once? Sure, some claim it's just standard legal protocol to protect the trial. But others are convinced it's a full-scale cover-up, a desperate attempt to bury the truth before it ever sees daylight. The mystery's only getting thicker, and online detectives are losing their minds, scrubbing through every post, every old clip, every second of footage for hidden meaning. Then boom, Candace Owens reappears saying she's ready to set the record straight. She brings up a group text thread, flashes a screenshot, and admits, yes, she was the one who leaked it.
So Charlie writes in this group chat, just lost another huge Jewish donor, $2 million a year because we won't cancel Tucker. I'm thinking of inviting Candace. Somebody writes, ugh. I cannot and will not be bullied like this, leaving me no choice but to leave the pro-Israel.
Turning Point USA spokesman Andrew Colvett and producer of The Charlie Kirk Show, Blake Neff, are addressing leaked text messages that podcaster Candace Owens revealed to her audience recently.
Meanwhile, everyone tangled in the Charlie Kirk saga has been slapped with a total zip-it order. The court dropped an ironclad restraining order, blocking journalists, content creators, and basically anyone with a microphone from saying a single word while the trial drags on. Official excuse? Fairness and keeping online chatter from shaping public opinion. Call it what you want. Silence, lockdown, media blackout, but it's dramatic. All this hits just weeks after the shocking events surrounding Charlie Kirk, when the FBI started shading creators for allegedly spreading unverified tea and twisting the story. But come on, a restraining order isn't exactly a threat to Candace Owens. Legal threats? She laughs at them. No court paper can stop her from spilling what she claims is the real truth behind Charlie Kirk's mess. Suddenly, the saga flips a page into a brand new, risk-packed, jaw-dropping chapter. Barely days after the gag order dropped, Candace Owens detonated the internet with a bombshell. New revelations about Charlie's wife, Erika Kirk, their twistedly complex relationship, and even Erika's mother, who, according to Candace, may be pulling strings behind the curtain. Social media erupted instantly. Thousands of comments, live streams, and analysis videos poured in. The audience split into two camps, those convinced Candace is exposing the truth, and those muttering, she's lost it. But the way Candace delivered it, calm, measured, dripping with purpose, it didn't feel like wild speculation. Nope. She sounded like she had a source that could shake everything upside down. And if that's real, buckle up, because this story is about to explode all over again. From there, the plot twists hard. Candace claims Erika Kirk wasn't just a doting partner. She might have been a carefully orchestrated chess move. As Candace Owens dramatically puts it, this wasn't romance. It was, in her words, a carefully calculated distraction. According to her, the entire Charlie-Erika Kirk relationship might have been less about love and more about control. A grand plan to steer Charlie's choices, career, and maybe even his destiny. And guess what? If Candace's tea is legit, the plan worked perfectly. Because right after Charlie's mysterious downfall, Erika didn't just mourn. She marched straight to the top of Turning Point America. Instantly, every spotlight swung her way. A story that looked wrapped up suddenly ripped open into its most dramatic act yet. And if you're wondering how this supposed love story even began, hold on. It reads like a full-blown political thriller. Word is, Erika's mother moved to Scottsdale ages ago to launch a private security firm. But here's where jaws drop. In an old interview, Erika casually mentioned that her mom had ties to the Justice Department and Homeland Security. Oh yes, she said that out loud. So let's pause and think. If true, that means Mom wasn't just well-connected. She had access to the kind of insider info that turns power into a family business. Fast forward to now, and Erika Kirk runs one of the most politically charged organizations in America, right after her husband's sudden exit. Coincidence? Please. The internet went wild. Armchair detectives started digging through old interviews, dusty business records, and forgotten clips, hunting for proof this was all a setup. Because if even half of Candace Owens' claims hold water, we're not talking romance anymore. We're talking strategy, influence, and big league power games. And just when you think it can't get spicier, the rumors multiply. Apparently, Erika's mother didn't just guide her, she trained her. Some say Erika was molded to be magnetic, persuasive, and perfectly polished for elite circles. Sounds like a conspiracy theory, right? But then you remember she won Miss Arizona on her first try, shot up the social ladder overnight, and suddenly the coincidences don't look so innocent. The timing, the prep, the precision, it all lines up a little too neatly, doesn't it? And if you thought all of this was random luck, brace yourself for the meeting that started it all. According to Erika Kirk, her first encounter with Charlie Kirk happened while she was in Israel with her mother. But here's the kicker. Candace Owens claims it was Erika's mother who nudged her to make the move. Seriously, what are the odds of that coincidence? Then, by some twist of fate, or maybe a little orchestration, they crossed paths again when Charlie interviewed Erika for a role at Turning Point USA. From there, things escalated fast. But here's the jaw-dropper. Candace now hints that Erika may have ties to foreign intelligence operatives working quietly behind the scenes. She even suggests these connections could have shaped what happened to Charlie, giving an insider far more influence over him than anyone imagined. Of course, let's be clear, none of this is confirmed. Yet the internet has gone full meltdown. Social media is on fire with debates, video dissections, and wild theories. Some insist Candace is going too far. Others swear she's exposing a secret far bigger than anyone dares admit. No matter which camp you're in, the story has jumped from intriguing to downright explosive. And just when you think it couldn't get more dramatic, it hits another level. According to Candace Owens, Erika Kirk wasn't just a supportive partner. She allegedly wielded serious control over Charlie's personal and professional life. If that's even half true, this isn't a love story anymore. It's influence, strategy, and power on full display. Even before Charlie stepped away, Erika had quietly asserted control over Turning Point. Despite not being officially on the board, insiders say Candace claims her influence went far beyond routine decisions. She allegedly helped lure international donors, pushing Charlie to spotlight certain global issues in exchange for sponsorships and media deals. And trust me, this drama doesn't stop there. Candace Owens also claims that Erika Kirk and her mother were deeply entangled in international networks, effectively turning Turning Point into an unofficial ally of outside interests. According to Candace, to secure this power, Erika bulldozed every obstacle, including Candace herself. She says she was pushed aside, her voice muted, her credibility shredded, all because she dared to ask too many questions. Now Candace is piecing the puzzle together, and what emerges is jaw-dropping. A story of politics, power, and betrayal like something out of a thriller. Let's rewind because this part is wild. Everyone remembers Candace Owens and Charlie Kirk as a power duo. Bold, loud, and nearly unstoppable. Then suddenly, distance appeared and no one understood why. According to Candace, it wasn't an accident. She claims Erika Kirk orchestrated it, seeing Candace as a massive threat. Too influential, with too many loyal followers, and someone Charlie trusted implicitly. Candace says Erika craved total control, and Candace was the obstacle. Step by step, Erika allegedly persuaded Charlie to sever ties, blaming differences in direction, while secretly executing a full-blown strategy. But she didn't stop there. Erika reportedly installed loyal allies in key roles, making sure every decision, project, and public message of Turning Point ran through her filter. The wildest part? Social media detectives are now unearthing old interviews, suggesting tension between Candace and Erika had been simmering long before anyone noticed. What looked like a standard breakup now reads like a meticulously plotted power play. Insider sources say those loyal to international donors are gradually replacing staff committed to Turning Point's original mission. The story detonated when Candace Owens leaked screenshots of a private chat between Charlie and a team member, later confirmed by Josh Hammer, who admitted sending the messages. The revelation shook the internet and made the entire puzzle click into place. Sources reveal that shortly after Charlie's incident, the board held a rapid behind-closed-doors meeting to pick a successor. The first name floated? Candace Owens. Though not deeply involved recently, she remains on the board and was viewed as the logical heir to carry forward Charlie Kirk's legacy. This is where the plot flips in a way nobody saw coming. Just days before the vote to pick a new leader, major donors allegedly stepped in, threatening to yank all funding if Erika Kirk wasn't crowned president. Talk about a power play, leaving the board stuck between loyalty and survival. Sources say there were secret meetings, fiery debates, and votes that flipped overnight. The outcome? Erika Kirk was officially in charge within days. To outsiders, it looked far more like a hostile takeover than a smooth transition. Meanwhile, Candace Owens quietly stepped back, but she didn't stop digging. What she uncovered next may explain the lightning-fast shift in power. Rumor has it that former President Trump quietly gave Erika his nod for the CEO role at Turning Point America. When you connect the dots, financial pressure, perfect timing, rapid leadership change, it stops looking like coincidence and starts looking like a master plan laid long before Charlie Kirk's downfall. Now, Candace Owens isn't holding anything back. She claims Erika Kirk not only betrayed Charlie's trust, but allegedly manipulated him as he began drifting away from key political alliances in what Candace calls a global loyalty chess game. Sounds insane, right? But for those following every move, it's not totally shocking. Fans have been scrutinizing Erika for months. From her composed, measured speech just days after Charlie's exit to her return to hosting his show, only 2 weeks later, her poise has left many viewers unsettled, even suspicious. Social media is now buzzing with divided opinions.
She seems really upbeat, really happy. Only days after her husband was assassinated. That looks like smiles. That looks like laughing and happiness and joy. So many people noticed this. Erika was laughing right after her husband was assassinated. No, I'm not saying she's celebrating. I'm saying it's weird.
Some insist Erika Kirk is just holding it together. Others whisper that every move feels premeditated. And if Candace Owens' theory, that Erika was strategically planted in Charlie Kirk's life, is even half true, it suddenly explains everything from her meteoric rise to her tight grip on the organization. It might even explain why the government raced to slap a gag order on everyone, silencing investigators and creators like Candace, as if someone didn't want this story spreading any further. Because if Candace is even remotely right, we're staring at one of the biggest political power plays of the decade, and apparently we've only seen the opening act. In mere days, Candace Owens' claims about Erika Kirk's alleged manipulation and betrayal of Charlie have blown up the internet, hijacking the entire investigation's direction. Social media is in chaos. Threads, theories, and old photos are resurfacing faster than anyone can keep up. One viral comment summed it up. Erika's been groomed for power her whole life, and that symbol she wears? Not a coincidence. Speculation's running wild that she's being positioned for something way bigger than Turning Point. Maybe politics, maybe media. After Charlie's exit, the lightning speed transformation raised every eyebrow. Fans revisited old pictures claiming Charlie looked genuinely in love, while Erika looked calculating. What started as a tragedy has mutated into a full-blown war for power and influence. So, what's your take? Was Erika Kirk chosen or just lucky? Hit that like, drop your thoughts, and stay tuned, because the next chapter is about to detonate.